Yeah, and also the meaning of 5%. You know what I'm saying? Um, First off, I mean that kind of like I said, this is pre 120 for me. You know what I'm saying? So to hear that degree was like, in the way, hear Farrakhan, the way he spit it was like, yeah, I thought that was real powerful, and it was like, just a straight, what, like maybe like 3 minutes of him kicking some.
Something like that. See, I had went to see him when he delivered that speech at the Garden.
That particular speech. Oh wow, okay.
And so when I was there at one point, he was like, "And to the brothers of the 5% Nation," you know what I mean? I was just like, wow, like, Farrakhan shouted us, acknowledged us by name, like, you know what I mean? And I was like, that's some shit right there.
Right.
I gotta get the tape or whatever, you know what I mean?
Right. And that was, damn, what year? That was like 88 or something like that, 87?
I forget. I remember I went by myself.
You went by yourself? You went by
yourself?
yourself
From New Rochelle, got on the train, all of that, went by myself. For some reason, I couldn't get nobody to go with me, or
right.
They didn't want to pay for the ticket or whatever the fuck it was at the time, but I paid for my ticket, and I bought the tape. I think they were selling the tapes at the end or some shit like that.
Right.
You can get the tapes in the mail or some shit like that.
Okay. About to say
it was something.
away,
Yeah, I know maybe it wasn't right away.
Right.
But if you sign up and you know what I mean.
Okay. Oh yeah.
You get it in the mail or some shit like that.
Yeah, I was just like listening to that, like that kind of like put everything into perspective. I always heard about the 5%, and then hearing that was like, okay, the meaning of 5%.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That might have been a joint that I listened to over and over and over and over. And then I think like a couple of years later, I listened to the Marvin Gaye. And the Trouble Man joint.
Okay.
And that's where, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, right.
How it all came, you know what I mean?
That's where the joint came from.
Right,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, wow.
Again, that beat sounded dramatic. I wanted to use it, but it was like, I don't know if it necessarily sounded like something me and Sadat should rhyme on. But at the same time, this is at the time when people were making creative albums and they'd have interludes and all kind of shit. I was like, yo, let's do like an interlude, like, and this is the perfect example, right now the God Farrakhan is articulating, you know what I mean, who the 5% are and who we represent, like who better, especially in these times, because Farrakhan was still,
he was fiery at the time.
He was still fiery at the time, so it was like, who better to say this than him, and this was also harkens back to, back when I was a DJ back in the days, when I got knowledge, I immediately wanted to fuse the two. So
I remember you telling me that.
I used to have the Malcolm X grassroots speech album. So I used to be making little mixtapes and shit, and where I'd play a break beat and then I have the Malcolm X shit going over it, and I'm thinking in my head, yeah, this is the way we could teach them, you know what I mean, without them knowing they being taught.
Right.
And that was always a theme of mine because it happened to me. The Supreme Team taught me without me knowing I was being taught. So I said, this is something that I want to do in the future. And I know it could be done because it already happened to me. I had the revelation of singing along to the mathematics, not knowing what the fuck I'm talking about. But then once I get it, the light going off, like, oh, that's what they was talking about?
Right.
That's what this is. And I already know it. I already know it, a lot of this. Like the shit they saying, I already know. So that's helping me in my memorization and all of this because I already know a lot of this.
Well, that's how I learned a lot of the 16th degree of the 1 to 40. You know what I'm saying? Who's the 5%? On the fourth part of planet Earth, and with him, with Farrakhan saying like that, I mean, it's not exactly the way the degree is, but
it helps.
It'll help
gives
me.
you a guide.
So once I got there, it was like
certain keywords,
right? So it was already there. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you said you heard the Trouble Man. You just decided like that was something that you wanted to.
Yeah, I was like,
let's
let's use this. Marvin Gaye too, like you know what I mean?
Right.
Trouble Man.
Mm,
You know?
right.
That shit was hard.
Now that album was real sample heavy. That wasn't around the time, or was that before or after they really started like coming down on the sample?
Probably
Like,
just before.
Right before.
Cause we got away with a lot of shit.
That's what I'm saying. That's a.
We got
sample
caught
heavy
with some shit, but we got away with a lot of shit too.
Right. Which ones that stand out you got in trouble with, like, or that you?
Well, not that we got in trouble, but we had to pay.
You had to pay.
You
Right.
know what I mean? Like we probably had to pay for that Trouble Man.
Oh, wow.
I forget. Probably Let Me Leave Me Alone. You know that Bobby Humphries.
Right. Yeah, but that was kind of like it wasn't like a real like commercially like where like.
Well, he definitely was getting a lot of shit cleared too, but I think we slipped some shit by. But definitely at that time, maybe they was already on it.
Yeah, because didn't you pay for, or didn't they come after you for the Slow Down joint that predates that?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think maybe that did happen already. So that could have been post. But still, it wasn't stopping people from sampling. It was just like, okay.
It just kind of slowed
okay,
you down.
gotta pay for it.
You pay for it, right.
And if it's too much, you can't use it. And that's what happened with certain songs on there. Like, there was some songs where it was like, man, they want like $60,000 or some shit. Like, and 75% of the rights, like some crazy shit. We're like, we're not doing that.
Right.
Like,
So there were songs that you already had that they was like, no, we can't do it.
Can't even use it. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's too expensive. It's just, and that's where, bureaucracy and capitalism fucks with creativity. Every time. Like, like no matter what you're doing, like when all that financial shit comes into play and you have to put that into the equation and worry about that, that's what stifles creativity. That's why sampling, is almost a lost art because people don't want to pay for that shit. They rather just get on the keyboards untrained and all of that in the music and just, make some shit. And make some music, make some shit and just keep all the publishing and don't have to give nobody nothing. I feel that's great. But at the same time, we taking away
the art of sampling.
The art and the soul of what hip hop is.
And the history.
That's part of what hip hop does is we take that old shit and make it new.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Connecting the old to the new, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Respecting the ancestors, music, and saying, but this is how we see it today. You know what I mean? We're gonna give homage to you, and the shit that you did is so divine that we can't recreate it.
Right,
so we have to use
the sample.
We have to use the sample.
Right.
Because your shit is so pure and holy that to try to play it over, that's the disrespect. You see, but to take what you've given us and to flip it and all of that, that's just an exaltation.
Yeah, well, I think some people kind of
that's paying homage, huh?
I think some people abuse that though. Like there were certain cats that was just taking whole joint, like they didn't really put no art to it, like kind of like so like when I listen to like in God We Trust, like there's an art to it. There's like a lot of those samples you like, well, where did that come from? You know what I'm saying? Like and it was flipped a certain way.
Right.
And you kind of had to dig for that. Whereas like there were certain artists that were just like straight out, just taking whole songs and whatnot.
Well, I think that started happening maybe a little later too, because you got to understand we were dealing with a certain amount of sample time too, so that's gonna sway your creativity.
Right.
Now you can sample a whole fucking song if you want and just let it play and try to sync your drums to that.
Right.
Right. Depending on what sampler you used, you know what I mean?
Right.
If you had an SB12 or whatever, that shit was
like 8 seconds or something like that.
Ridiculous.
Right.
And the MPC 60 seemed like a lot, but it, at the same time it was like,
Right. Well, I was also like doing the knowledge to like this documentary where they were saying that to sample a joint, like if you were to chop it up, the artist or the company was gonna come after you more. Whereas if you took it and you just left it as is and you kind of like did like more of it's not interpolation like if you kind of made it was more similar to the original, you wouldn't pay that much. But if you kind of flipped
I don't
it,
know about that.
nah. Yeah, I was looking at it like Biz had went through that, and that's why he came out with that album All Samples Cleared.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, man. I mean, it is a lost art. I mean, it's something that I enjoy. Do I enjoy sampling and shit though? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you had a joint that you was playing. What was
right,
it?
that was a sample joint.
Right. So you still sample?
Yeah.
But, I mean, do you think there's like a demand, like people kind of getting back to that, or?
I think some people are getting back to it. I think it all depends on how you use it too. You know what I mean? Like, you can use samples in trap. It's just
right. How
it's
you
just
do
about
it?
the bounce and how you approach it. You know what I mean? The drum sounds you use, but they use the samples in trap. You know what I mean? Like not always, but they're used. So.
Now, what's your approach like when you dealing with samples? Do you like to chop them? Because I like to kind of like chop them, or do you like to loop them, or like what's your?
Each one is different to me. I don't go into it with a preconceived of how I'm gonna do it. The beat speaks to me every time. See what I'm saying? The music.
Or the sample speaks.
Or the sample speaks to me.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The sample tells me what to do with it. Whether it needs to be chopped up, whether it needs to just, straight 4 bars, or take this piece and then have this come, or make that go a certain. It all depends. Like, I don't know until I listen to the sample, but I don't go into everyone and be like, I'm gonna chop up every fucking thing I do.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I kind of like at least in my mind, like in the spirit like Diamond DCI, he took like that same sample and flipped it. So I would take that, I would maybe loop it, and then also chop it and have it like there. So because like we may hear it one way today, and then tomorrow you might hear it differently. So it's always there. It's almost like kind of like using like the alphabet. Just because you use the letter A in one word doesn't mean you're not going to use it. You know what I'm saying?
The same sample I was playing earlier, I did 2 versions of this. A chopped up version.
Okay.
And then this is the straight version.
Okay. I'm trying. I recognize the sample. Yeah, we could play the joint. We hit the joint.